here with Karen Hutchinson. Karen is the Vice President of the Greenbank Farm Management Group. This is a citizens group that has been involved in a farm, and I'm going to let her tell you the story about that in just a few moments.
You know, the Greenbank Farm is absolutely a magical place in the center of Whidbey Island, and it was just almost a decade ago that the farm was put up for sale, and we were really looking at the potential of development happening here. And the citizens came forward and said that this was such a magical, beautiful place that it needed to be preserved, and came together with a very comprehensive plan for buying over 500 acres and putting it into the public domain. And so the Greenbank Farm Management Group was put together at that time, basically as the citizens' voice for how the farm should be used and developed. And our goal here is to provide economic development through tourism, to preserve the rural character of this amazing turn-of-the-century farm, and to just absolutely do our best to create a community gathering place where people from both on and off the island love to come.
The farm has been here for quite a while. Can you tell us a little bit about the early history of the farm?
Sure. The farm, actually, the big numbers on the barn would tell us that the farm's been here since 1904, and that barn's been here since 1904. At that point in time, it was a very large dairy farm, and this part of Whidbey Island was quite different than it is today. There was actually a dock out there, and the mosquito fleet came and went from Seattle, and a lot of goods were transited in and out of this farm. So it started out life as a very large dairy farm. In the 30s, it got sold and it became a loganberry farm. And at one point, it was the largest loganberry farm in the continental United States, and it was quite large. There's lots of people here on the island who remember either their parents or themselves picking loganberries here. The farm at that point ultimately got sold to Chateau Saint Michel and was used as a tasting room for the winery. And it is from Chateau Saint Michel that the farm moved its way into public domain, and that's where we are today. And it's actually pretty amazing. 1996 is when we saved the farm, and so here we are, just essentially looking at a decade.
To me, that's amazing. As a county extension agent, I came here and started helping the farm back in the early 80s, and it's been a wonderful transformation to see how it's difficult to make a living farming here, and yet I look at what you folks have done here in the last 10 years, and it's just you have made it a real jewel. So, Karen, the farm is an acquisition that was really quite unique in the way it was done. Can you share a little bit about how that happened?
Sure, I think it's really a great story. The farm was put up for sale in the mid-1990s, and as we talked briefly about, it was at that point people were looking at it as a possible housing development, and the citizens of Island County really wanted to preserve the farm and its rural character. So a citizens group got together and jointly with 3 agencies managed to purchase over 500 acres. That is what you're looking at here today. Island County used the Conservation Futures money to buy the forest land that flanks the farm to the north and to the west. The Nature Conservancy came in and purchased some beautiful wetlands that they think are very critical for bird sanctuary. And the Port of Coupeville stepped in because they were a government agency that was in a position to own what we consider the working assets of the farm, and that would be the barns, the buildings, the infrastructure, and the fields that you see here. And I think that that's a partnership that you don't see very often. So we're incredibly pleased. And again, then the Greenbank Farm Management Group has been hired by the Port of Coupeville on a long-term contract to manage the farm for the citizens here.
Well, for years we've been here at the farm helping the farm in one way or the other as a WSU Extension program, and but it's only been the last several years that we have a whole new partnership that has developed. And so, Karen, can you tell us about that partnership?
Sure. Don, once again, you know, the whole purpose of the farm was to create a place that is for the community and to offer opportunities for the community to just have a beautiful place to come visit. And when WSU came and suggested that they would like to create a demonstration garden here, we thought, boy, what better use could there be for this land than to do a demonstration garden? And if you look around here, it's just fabulous. You know, we've got the cottage garden and the woodland garden and the rose garden and the shade garden. And the work that has been done by the master gardeners in a fairly short period of time, it's an incredible garden, and people from both on and off the island come here for sanctuary and come here to learn about the plants and the things that can be done here on the island. When we have events and festivals here at the island, at the farm here, lots and lots of people spend time wandering through the garden. And I was here over the weekend, and they were setting up for just a lovely wedding by the pond, and the garden provides this incredible backdrop for those kinds of activities as well. So we think it's a real treasure to have it here, and we're really pleased with the partnership with WSU, and we just think it's a win-win for everyone.
The farm has lots of things happening here, and there's several economic activities that are inherent parts of the farm. So Karen, can you tell us a little bit about those?
Sure, Don. One of the things that you have to think of is that when the Port of Coupeville purchased this farm, one of their primary motives is that they are responsible for economic development. And so underlying all that we do here at the farm, we have a responsibility for economic development. And we have, over the last several years, created a number of really viable businesses that are running here. And there are so many things you can do. You can come and have lunch and a fabulous piece of pie at the Whidbey Pies Cafe. We've got a wine shop that's run by the Greenbank Farm Management Group, and that wine shop features small, independent Northwest wineries. There's an incredible cheese store. We've got a commercial kitchen here that is used by many, many different entrepreneurs on the island. And then we've got some retail shops as well. We've got a tack store for those people who bring their horses and ride on the farm. We've got an art gallery and a co-op with beautiful works handmade by local island artists. And we've got a great antique store that sort of brings back the historic nature of the farm. And we've got some other businesses as well. The Whidbey Camino Land Trust is housed here, and several others are doing business here as well. So it's a good synergy between the businesses, and they're just making a big difference to the visitorship here at the farm.
You have special events taking place here too. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Lots of special events. The farm has become a real destination for weddings. We've got several weddings a month during the summer months, and that's when this garden is in full bloom and people really take advantage of that. So, but in addition to that, local nonprofit organizations use the farm as a venue for fundraising dinners. Other nonprofit groups use it for meetings and other kinds of venues. It's probably home to at least 24 organizations that are here on a fairly regular basis. The Loganberry Festival is probably the signature festival here at the farm. It happens the fourth weekend in July every year, so put it on your calendar. But it's a celebration of the history of the farm and the loganberries that were done here, and we bring in local artists and local entertainment, and we just have a good party. And we draw 6,000 to 8,000 people for that festival. On a good sunny day, we might have more than that. We've also got the Highland Games that the local Scottish organization holds here. We had a large, fabulous car show over the Father's Day weekend with more than 200 cars that were entered. This was the first year for it, so imagine what next year might look like. And coming up shortly, we've got a quilt show that should be fabulous. They're going to hang the quilts both in the historic barns and out in the fields as well, so it should be a lot of fun.
Something else that's quite unique here in the state of Washington is the fact that Washington State University just began its very first agricultural program for students to get a degree in organic agriculture. And that ties in beautifully here to the Greenbank Farm and what's been happening over the last 10 years here. So Karen, tell us a little bit about the farm and what it's doing in that regard.
Well, one of the things we're really proud of is that we are a certified organic farm, and that is a challenge. That's a big job to become certified and to stay certified, and it's very important to us. And so the partnership with the Master Gardeners and the fact that you all are helping people learn how to garden organically and how to protect this beautiful piece of land is important to us. We've got other organic farming going on here. We've leased out land to an organization that grows organic seed crops. We've got a fairly large pea patch garden. There's 18 plots, and all of them are done organically and sold at the local farmers markets, as well as used for personal purposes, I'm sure. And our loganberry patch, which we are slowly regrowing so that we're adding more rows of loganberries each year, is done completely organically. And it's just very important for us that this farm is organic and that we protect this land and that it's here for everyone.
If the Master Gardeners hadn't been here, do you have a sense of the impact of that?
Well, we wouldn't have these lovely gardens, and so I'd just as soon not think about the fact that the Master Gardeners aren't here. What I'd like to do is think forward and really look at how this can continue to expand and how we can offer educational opportunities to the people who come visit, and just an oasis for people to enjoy. And it's a great partnership, and I surely want to see it continue forward.
That's wonderful. We, as the Master Gardener program, of course, we built this garden with the idea that it would be a demonstration garden for good gardening practices and different kinds of gardens that are here to help people understand how they can work with nature a little bit better. So our dream has always been to have classes and also to allow the garden to be a class that goes on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. So, Karen, thank you so much for your time today, and we sure enjoyed being here with you.